Yeah, okay, so I'm about a year late on this review. The Denon Prime Go Plus dropped in late 2024, I think, but hey, better late than never, right? As someone who's always hunting for the perfect backup DJ controller, I had to get my hands on this thing and put it through its paces for us as mobile and wedding DJs. And before you ask, yes, I paid for it. Yes, these are my opinions about it. Here are the positives, and there are many. The battery life actually works. This thing gets at least 5 hours of battery life, and that is a solid 25% improvement over the original Prime Go. For ceremony work or outdoor events where running power is a nightmare, this is critical. Also, it has tons of professional ins and outs that don't mess around. It's got balanced XLR outputs, the main and the booth, 2 combo XLR 1/4-inch mic inputs with real preamps, RCA auxiliary input with level control. Listen, this isn't a toy controller. You can plug this into any professional sound system and it's going to sound great. Let's talk about streaming services galore. Amazon Music Unlimited, Beatport and BeatSource, where all my crates are, SoundCloud Go Plus, Tidal, and even Drawbacks. Wi-Fi connectivity means you're never without music for those last minute requests. Let's talk about the operating system. As you know, Denon is Engine DJ, and here are some of the features. Slip mode, finally. Smart headphone cue that automatically switches to whatever deck you just loaded. It's got Bluetooth output. You can now stream wirelessly to any Bluetooth speaker. Obviously, you'll have some lag there. And then full lighting control is actually built in if you're a SoundSwitch user. Let's talk about build quality and portability. At just 16 inches wide and 2 inches tall, this thing will fit in most of the bigger DJ backpacks. The silver finish to me looks more professional than the old black version. And after 4+ years, reviewers report that the original Prime Go is actually still rock solid. So I hope the same with this. As with any backup controller I pick, there are always going to be negatives, of course. No Serato support. This is a big one for me, and probably many of you. If you're a Serato user like I am and use a laptop, this is not going to work with that particular system. It is Engine DJ only, which means it's pretty much a standalone unit, which is why it has the screen. The tiny jog wheels, these are not really for scratching, period. They're basically for cueing and basic mixing, but if you're doing any kind of performance mixing or scratching, I would look elsewhere. The crossfader quality. Some reviewers I watched called it trash for scratching purposes, but I think that's a bit of a stretch. Again, it's not a performance controller, it's a mixing workhorse. And it's not something that I personally care about, especially for my use case, because I'm using it for a backup unit, and I'm more of a blends kind of DJ anyway. The EQs are laid out horizontally instead of vertically, which takes some getting used to. Again, if you're a Pioneer user, like I usually am. It's not a deal breaker, but it's definitely a little bit different. They did remove the hardwired Ethernet connection that you had on the original. You can use a USB to Ethernet dongle, but it's one more thing to carry, and it does take up your USB port. This isn't a big deal to me, but some reviewers don't like that there is no mic monitoring in the headphones. In other words, you can't hear yourself in the headphones when you're using the mic inputs. For live streaming or events where you need to monitor your announcements, this could be potentially frustrating. Now, on to the pricing. At $999 MSRP, which is the same as the original Prime Go, to me, I think this is a solid value. You're getting professional grade hardware with standalone capability, streaming services, and a 5-hour battery life for the price of a mid-range controller. Now let's move into perfect use cases for people like us, mobile DJs. I'd say playing ceremony music with battery power, cocktail hour setups where running cables is difficult, an emergency backup system because it fits in your regular DJ bag or in between the seats in your car, or an after-party controller for smaller venues, or even live streaming from remote locations. How cool would it be to DJ on a beach with that as the backdrop, or in a desert? Here are a few changes you might need to make though for your workflow. You'll need to prep your music on SD cards, or you're gonna have to rely on streaming. And Engine DJ does have a learning curve if you're coming from Serato like me. The compact size means some compromises in the mixing field, and there are only 4 performance pads per deck, with bank switching for up to 8 total, but only 4 physical buttons. For such a small unit, you do get some other pro-grade features. For example, internal recording capability, full 3-band EQ with gain controls, multiple effects engines with touch effects on the screen, booth output with separate level control, and even, like I said, 2 mic channels, one that has the talk over functionality. The bottom line is this: the Denon Prime Go Plus isn't going to replace your main rig, or at least it's not for me. The jog wheels are a bit tiny, the crossfader isn't really made for scratching, and if you're married to Serato like I am, it's not going to integrate perfectly with your current workflow in the simplest way. But as a backup system, which is what I bought it for, this thing is pretty incredible. The streaming functionality alone makes it worth considering. Mark my words, the death of the MP3 and buying MP3s is near. Now imagine never worrying about forgetting an external drive or having to worry about your laptop crash during a wedding. And the battery power means you can literally set this up anywhere, and the professional outputs on the back means it'll work with pretty much any sound system that you come across. I am definitely going to be using this as my backup unit going forward. The streaming services alone, especially having access to all my BeatSource crates, give me confidence that I can handle any situation that comes up. Sometimes the best backup isn't the one that does everything your main rig does, it's the one that is always going to be ready to save your gig. And for right at $1,000, if you're looking for that ultimate just-in-case controller that can actually finish a show if everything else fails, I think the Prime Go Plus might just be it. I'll keep you posted. Thanks as always for watching these videos. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Give the video a big old thumbs up if it helped. And let me know in the comments what your go-to backup controller is. I always want to know, and please don't say you don't have one. Please, please, please. I'll see you on the next video, y'all. Peace.